Alright everybody, so been thinking of a new name for the channel. I haven't come up with one just yet. I'm still doing some brainstorming. Hopefully for the next video I should have a new name posted and a new name to talk about when I'm introducing my videos. But in any case, if anybody's wondering, typically I do these videos from my balcony. It's kind of cool out here. Really good lighting, good background and everything. Makes for a good environment for it. But without any further ado, the topic of discussion today is something that I think is particularly important. Now, there are other videos out there that talk about this, but I think in general I tend to see a lot more people out there telling you what you should be doing, you know, what successful people generally do. And I think a really great place to start, at least, you know, for me personally, like in my life, I notice that I waste a lot of time. I spend a lot of time doing things that are destructive. And, you know, when I stop doing those things, when I focus on eliminating the bad behaviors, a lot of the time the good behaviors just come in naturally. You know, I mean, with minimal direction, if you're removing the things that are holding you back, you know, generally you tend to do things that are actually going to be moving you forward, right? So, 5 things successful people don't do. Number 1, they don't spend time looking at and comparing their lives to the lives of other people. Now, this comes with a caveat, right? I do think that there is a healthy amount of going out there and getting ideas. You know, going out there to get inspiration, going out there maybe to see what other people are doing, what their methodologies are, you know, what just some of the different stuff they've been getting involved in, and you know, maybe some stuff that you could get involved in too, some skills you could develop, whatever. But there is a very fine line between doing this and, you know, actually going out there and getting ideas and, you know, getting inspired and just saying, okay, well, you know, looks like I'm doing better than this person, and I'm doing better than this. Oh, this person looks like they're doing better than me. You know, they're hanging out with cooler people and going to cooler places and having more fun than I am, and they got a better job, whatever, right? The difference is the judgment. You know, the difference is you're judging your life, you're judging their life. It becomes an ego-driven thing, right? It becomes about beating them, okay? That's destructive. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And you really have to be honest with yourself here. You know, you have to say, hey, why am I doing this? What is the motivation behind it? And you know, is it going to be destructive, right? So, number 2, successful people do not deviate from the plans that they make without a good reason to do so. Now, I say a good reason to do so because of course you're going to deviate from your plan occasionally, right? Yeah, and you should, honestly. That's good strategy, right? I mean, if you are doing something and you realize, hey, I'm spinning my wheels here, you know, it's not really getting a lot of traction. If I change it this way, or maybe if I start incorporating this strategy, you know, it's going to go a lot better for me. Well, hell, that's learning. That's growth, right? That's just learning to do it a better way and adjusting accordingly. That is not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about are things like procrastination. You know, saying, oh, at 6 o'clock p.m. on a Tuesday or whatever, I'm going to work on this project I've been working on. I'm going to work on learning this new skill. You know, I'm going to put this time, set this time aside to do like some personal development or whatever it is. And then, you know, 6 o'clock p.m. Tuesday rolls around, and all of a sudden, well, you know, I'm kind of tired today. I'm just not really feeling like I'm in the mood. Not feeling talkative. I feel like I need to, you know, take a rest tonight or whatever. No. Look, you need that repetition. You need the cadence. You need the structure. Without that, it's never gonna happen. You know, there are things that I've been telling myself I'm gonna do for the past 2-3 years that still haven't gotten done because I haven't had a structure in place. I haven't had like a time of day that I work on this and, you know, made no excuses and said, okay, I'm gonna do it unless something incredibly important comes up that requires my time and energy. This is where I'm gonna put it, right? So, number 4. Now, I'm sorry, number 3. I skipped number 3 there. Anyways, number 3, successful people do not neglect the importance for charging their batteries. So, too many times in my life I said to myself, you know what, today's the day. Today, I'm not gonna have any fun anymore. Not gonna make any more excuses. Today, I'm going to work 100% of the time, you know, 100% balls to the wall, all day, every day, all day, all night, you know, the moment I wake to the moment I go to sleep. and I'm not going to do anything else, right? That is a very quick path to make sure that you don't achieve whatever it is that you're trying to get better at, right? Very quick path. I read something at one point that said 80-20, right? You should really be spending 20% of your time, super intense focus doing that hard grinding work, and 80% of your time doing activities that are actually rejuvenating, actually serve to, replenish your energy and, put that willpower back into your system, right? I don't know if some of you have read about this or heard about this in another video or whatever, but there's a concept called ego depletion. And basically the idea is that willpower is finite, and within any given day, you only have so much energy, so much ability to focus and really get the hard grinding work that you need to get done. And at any given point in time, there are things that can add to that, things that can take away from that, and you really have to make sure that you're doing good activities that actually replenish your energy, right? Go off the grid, do things you love. Please get enough rest. You have to get enough rest. Getting enough sleep is essential. That's different for everybody. For some people, that means getting 6.5, 7 hours of sleep. For some people, it's more like 8 to 9 hours of sleep. For me personally, I need my beauty rest. That's what I tell people. I'm more of like a 7.5 to 8 hour kind of guy, right? But again, you have to rejuvenate. You have to keep that willpower up to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve, right? So, getting to number 4 for real this time. Super successful people, successful however you define it, do not wake up super late, even on the weekends. Now, when I say this, I'm not being super extreme about it, okay? I'm not naturally an early bird person. I'm really not. I know people that wake up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, they sip their green tea, they meditate, they do their exercise. If you have a routine like that, fantastic, good for you. And I want to be just like you when I grow up, right? Good for you. But no, that's not even what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, don't wake up at 10 o'clock in the morning every Saturday, every Sunday morning, right? Try to get up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, right? That's very doable, okay? Now, with that said, I get it. Sometimes you're going to want to go out. Sometimes you're going to have fun. Fantastic. Do those things. I certainly do. But here's the thing, what if instead of going out until 3 o'clock in the morning, you came home at 12:30, went to bed? Guess what? You can get up at 8:30 in the morning. You've got your 8 hours of sleep, right? If you need that much sleep, and you're good to go for the next day. And then you still got that extra 2 hours at the beginning of the day where you can literally do whatever you want. You can exercise, you can get your day started early, you can go outside and do something, outdoors, get some fresh air, get some sunlight, really whatever it is. But having that extra 2 hours in the beginning of the day makes a huge difference. And some people say, well, you know what, I'm more of a night person, I like to get my stuff done at night. Now, if you are one of those magical people that manages to do productive things between the hours of 10 o'clock p.m. and 2 a.m., good for you. I salute you. And if that's working out for you, fantastic. I know for me personally, at about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock p.m., I'm not getting shit done anymore. I'm really not. Anything that I'm doing is watching TV, browsing the internet, just wasting my time, looking at random stuff. And guess what? There's definitely some value to doing those things. I'm not saying don't do those things ever, but limit the amount of time that you spend doing that stuff. And definitely don't do it, from 10 o'clock p.m. to 2 o'clock in the morning, because guess what? Those 4 hours are coming out of your next day. And all the stuff that you said you were going to do that next day, well, you got so much less time to do it, And really, at the end of the day, being successful with whatever you're trying to do is about building systems and establishing tendencies and building a schedule that allows you the time and, most importantly, the energy to do whatever it is you're trying to do, right? Great. So, rounding it up, this brings me to number 5, which I think is possibly the most important thing on this entire list, right? Successful people do not spend their time thinking and worrying about things that either have minimal impact on their life or they simply can't change at all, right? Now, what are some examples of these things? What kind of family you come from, your ethnic background, what your face looks like, how tall you are, things that made you feel insecure in the past, why that person gave you a funny look, why that person didn't like you yesterday, why things didn't go quite the way you thought they would the other day because blah, 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 blah. All right, no, this is all just a waste of your time and energy. Going back to the whole ego depletion, the whole finite willpower thing I was talking about, all of these things are just taking away from the energy that you have to put towards getting better, learning a new skill, mindfulness practice, whatever it is that you're trying to do. All that stuff is just taking away the time and energy that you have for that. We spend so much of our time, and I do this too. I go through long periods where I won't do this, and every once in a while I'll catch myself slipping back into it, getting worried about stupid shit that doesn't matter, Really, so much of your life can be improved if you just eliminate that single behavior right there. And I know that's easier said than done. It's really tough. But focus on the high impact items. Focus on the stuff that's going to give you that long-term happiness. Again, however you define that, right? And really, I promise, if you do that, I know it's worked for me, your life will get better, right? Finally, as an anecdote to that, don't forget to be grateful for the things you have. And you know what? A lot of time, when people do gratefulness practices, they sit there and say, well, I have a lot of these things that a lot of other people don't have, And sometimes some people go in and say, well, you know what? A lot of other people do have these things, so why should I be grateful for it? Let me tell you something. It doesn't have to be something that other people don't have. Everybody else in the world could have it. Be grateful for your life. There's a lot of suffering in life, and there's a lot of times that are not necessarily going to be the best of times. But at the end of the day, just the fact that we're able to go about and do all the things we do and live in the world we live in, with so many opportunities for so much joy, really is a gift. And there's a lot of things like that. We just don't think about them because, unfortunately, we have these primitive, several million-year-old brains which are wired to be discontented and, constantly seek something better. But you know what? There's a way to overcome that, and I will actually cover that in another video. So, if you like this video and if you want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. That subscribe button down there, and I will see you next time.